Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Andy here. I went from depressed and suicidal to living a life of abundance and joy. If I can do it, you sure as hell can too. Often before I sit down to record these podcasts or my YouTube videos, I will think about what I want to talk about and what kind of video I'm going to put out there, what kind of podcast I'm going to do, what kind of message I want to transmit into your brain. And this morning I woke up really early, 3 a.m., walked around for a couple of hours recording a voice message for one of my coaching clients, and I could see that he was in a little bit of suffering or a little bit of pain. He's going through some shit. And I basically recorded him a 1 hour voice message giving him a bunch of love and telling him he's doing a good job and everything will be okay and it's okay to be sad, it's okay to be frustrated. It's okay if life seems a little bit difficult and this whole goal and self-improvement thing seems like a bit of a challenge. And so I want to say the same thing to all of you. I know there's some of you listening right now who are struggling a little bit. You're struggling to believe that you can make it. You're struggling to take the action that might be required of you. You're struggling to believe in yourself. You're struggling to trust me, I guess, and trust that what I'm saying applies to you and that you can do it too. I get all of those struggles. I have those doubts every now and then myself. I used to have a hell of a lot of doubt and insecurity, and I still get some from time to time. And a big part of this journey is making peace with that, making peace with the fact that sometimes you're going to have doubts. Sometimes you're going to be emotional. Sometimes you're not going to feel very good. Sometimes you're going to wonder if you can do it, if it's even possible for you. Or if this Andy guy is just a big fucking fat scammer telling you that you can do it too, but you can't really because you're the special exception. Believe me, I know those doubts. I know those insecurities. Like I said, sometimes I have them myself, but I promise you that you can make it. You might not believe me, but if you just take a little bit of action every single day towards your goals, if you just keep on improving, and if you just don't quit, you will eventually get there. And in the meantime, if you struggle, that's okay. There are plenty of people that can be here for you. I'm here for you. You can leave a comment on my YouTube channel down in the comment section, or you can hit me up for coaching. There might be some friends that you can talk to. There are some books that you can read. I love the book Loving What Is. I also love You Can't Afford the Luxury of a Negative Thought. There's also my Play to Win video course. There's so much shit out there that can help you with that positive mindset. But in this time of struggling, in this time of suffering, try and be gentle with yourself. It's okay that you have doubts. You're not a pussy. You're not a coward. There's nothing wrong. I think part of the whole self-improvement journey is there's a lot of doubts in there. It's almost by design. Because if it was easy, maybe everyone wouldn't do it. People wouldn't go out and build a business. I guess it would be boring, right? What would be the point in having a lot of sex and building yourself up and improving if it was so easy? It'd be like entering the cheat codes into a video game. It's no longer fun. And so almost by design, this self-improvement process is supposed to be a bit of a challenge. Otherwise, you wouldn't do it, or we wouldn't be talking about it. I wouldn't have this channel. What would be the point in me saying, hey, you can do that thing that's really easy? It's like, yeah, I know, bro, it's easy. If it was easy to step outside the house and talk to women, then you'd all just be doing it already. You wouldn't be needing me to tell you that you can do it. If it was easy to start a business, you'd just do it. You'd be like, hey, man, I'm making $1 million just like everyone else around me. Isn't this cool? Isn't this fun? And again, it probably wouldn't be fun if it was that easy. But I think we can find some peace in accepting, yeah, look, this can be a challenge. It doesn't have to be difficult. What I mean by that is there are ways to make this a little bit easier. There are ways to make this more efficient. There are ways to have fun. You don't have to suffer in that challenge. But let's acknowledge that it can be a bit of a challenge sometimes. And we can enjoy that challenge. We can rise up to the challenge. We can see what we're really made of and have our mettle tested. But you don't have to suffer during that process. It can be fun. You're allowed to enjoy this self-improvement thing. You're allowed to celebrate your wins, even the tiny little ones. You're allowed to throw in some gratitude and some love into what you're doing. You're allowed to let other people help you. That helps the most, having other people that can be there for you. And we can enjoy this self-improvement thing. But I get the fears. I get the doubt. I get the insecurity. Believe me, I really, really, really get those things. Like I said, I used to feel those just constantly, all the time. I still feel them from time to time. And all of my coaching clients feel them. I know what fear is. I know what insecurity is. I know how it feels to doubt yourself and doubt the self-improvement process and doubt all of this. But the one thing I can promise you is if you just don't quit and you take a little baby step each day or most days towards your goals, you will get there. It might take a lot longer than you want it to. I think that's just a pretty consistent thing in the self-improvement world. You know, that little childlike part of us that wants what it wants right now. You know, I want it now. And we throw a tantrum, don't we? I do the same thing. You know, we'd all love to be rich and famous and whatever else it might be that we want immediately. We'd love to have a girlfriend today. We'd love to have a business that's successful right now. We don't want to wait, you know, and sometimes we can be patient for a little bit and we say, fine, I'll put 6 months into my self-improvement. And then we throw a big tantrum when we've gone through the 6 months and we haven't gotten all the results that we want. And I feel that too, you know, I've been building my business for about 5 years at this point, and it can be very tempting to say, I should have more money. I should have more success. This should be easier. I shouldn't have to try as hard as I try. But that's just where I'm at, and that's probably where you're at. You're probably at a point where you're trying really hard, and let's acknowledge that. That's incredible. You're doing such an amazing job. But maybe there's just a little bit more that needs to be done. That's why I say focus on today. Focus on the baby step that you're going to take today. Or you can take more than a baby step if you want to, but at least one baby step today. Focus on what you're doing. Focus on that next step. Try not to look too far ahead. Try not to get too disillusioned and disheartened and angry and frustrated with the fact that you aren't at your goal yet. And just acknowledge that you're a hell of a lot further than you were 6 months or a year or 5 years ago. And if you feel like you're not any further along, then now is the time. Seize the day. Carpe diem. Go do something right now. Take one little baby step so you can say, I'm at least one baby step forward. Literally pause the podcast right now, go outside and go do something. And I promise you will feel a hell of a lot better than if you just sit around doing nothing. You know, there's always something you can do, even if you feel hopeless, helpless, feel like it's too late for you, it's too overwhelming. There is one tiny little thing that you can do. There always is something you can do. So go do that. And if that seems too hard and overwhelming, if even that baby step makes you feel fear and doubt and insecurity, then break the baby step down. Do half of that baby step. Do 1/10 of that baby step. Do 1/100th of that baby step. Just do a tiny bit. And I promise everything will be okay. I'll leave you with a little quote to start the day off right if it's early in the morning for you or if it's the evening. Think about this before you go to bed. If you can do something to change the circumstances, why be upset about it? And if you cannot do anything to change the circumstances, why be upset about it?